Hi guys, welcome back to S.U.R.E Parenting. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today, I wanted to talk about this phenomenon in parenting where our kids are the absolute worst behaved with us and the immense frustration that can cause in parents. I hear all the time from parents that their daughter or their son is a saint at school and then they come home and it's chaos. And they're very frustrated because they feel like if their kid can hold it together and behave at school, they should really be able to do it at home too. What gives? I hear you. Totally valid to feel that way. And I can answer that question. So, first off, it's important to remember that knowing something and being able to always do something are two separate pieces of brain development. You know not to speed. Do you always drive the speed limit? Probably not. It's just human nature. We are better able to regulate some days than others. We are better able to regulate during some periods of time than others. And we are more prone to regulate if we already feel a little bit less safe. So let me dive into that a little bit. Would you go grocery shopping and spill all of your marital problems on the cash register, the cashier, the cash register operator? No, of course you wouldn't, because that person's a stranger. You don't know them. Would you go to the dentist and unload, the drama that you're having with your parents onto your dentist? Probably not. Chances are you're not that close to your dentist. Vulnerability is really scary. And when we are talking about our problems or our concerns or the things that we're going through, we have to place ourselves in a vulnerable position. And we don't typically do that outside of the safety and comfort of our home. And it's the same thing for our kids. So they go out into the world, whether to a friend's house or to school or what have you, and that's not their safe zone. They are on better behavior, they're more reined in, they hold in their emotions, they don't dump it all on their teacher or their friend's mom most often. And that's because that's not their safe place. And they know they have a safe place. They know that they will be back with mom soon, and then they can let out all of their emotions. The biggest time that most parents notice this is right after kids start public school kindergarten. The kids go to school, and then after school, they have these epic meltdowns, and they just don't understand what's happening. And what's happening is that you go from being free to express yourself and play and jump and run and climb and be a kid to having to be very still in comparison, to having to focus very hard and control your body movements, your eye movements, your voice, your interactions with your peers, trying to get to know and decipher the nonverbal communication from 30 other people in a room. It's exhausting, it's overwhelming. And many kids, they hold it together at school, but by the time they get home, they're fatigued. All of their self-control has been completely used up. And they don't really understand what's happening to them. They don't understand what's going on in their body. They just know that they need to dump. And so they unleash all of this pent-up angst at their parents, most often mom, and they melt into a puddle on the ground. It's the same sort of thing that you might see your spouse do if they had to bite their tongue all day at work. They come home and they unleash it. That idiot at work did this again, messed this up. Now I have to do this. It's all on me, and it's not my fault, and it's not fair. And they're very frustrated, but they have the ability to verbalize and explain exactly what it is that was frustrating them. They have the awareness to understand that they've been holding it in and now they need to vent it out, and they can do that more productively than kids. Kids don't understand that process yet. And so on one hand, we just got to ride the wave. We got to understand that they need to get it all out. And then on the other hand, we can help give them tools to get it out a little bit better. So, giving them an option to kick a pillow or punch a pillow or scream into a pillow, to, go for a walk in the neighborhood, to stomp on bubble wrap, that stuff, and pop the bubbles, to blow bubbles and literally pop the bubbles, chase bubbles around and pop them and try to be angry. It's really, really funny and silly, and you kind of can't be angry while you're doing it. You can give them tools like that. If your kid is typically more calm, you can give them tools like yoga. Any kid can benefit from something like yoga, but the reason I mention the calm is that there's high energy kids and there's lower energy kids. And the higher energy kids need to do something high energy before they can go calm, and then the lower energy kids can typically just go straight to a calm activity and calm down. And you have to pay attention to the kid you have, not the parent you are. I am a low energy parent. My kids are not low energy kids. So if I'm trying to force them to be low energy kids, it's not going to work. If I give them that high energy output and then transition to a low energy, then it works. So I have to just really pay attention to the kid I have. So knowing it's normal, knowing that that's what they need in that moment to just get it all out, knowing that it does not hurt to let them express their feelings. Feelings are valid. There's no such thing as bad feelings. Anger is valid. Frustration is valid. Sadness is valid. Resentment is valid. Jealousy is valid. All of it is valid. They're real feelings. And the more that we just accept that those feelings exist, yes, this is how we feel. The end. Society says we shouldn't feel these things, and that's not helpful because we do feel those things. So trying to force yourself to not feel them really just makes you ignore them, and then they creep up in other ways and in other times. So the feelings themselves, totally fine. We don't have to tell them to not feel sad or not feel whatever. And we don't let our feelings hurt other people. So no, they can't kick you. No, they can't, hit you. They can kick and hit something else like a ball. They can, go out and swing the golf club at golf balls, like appropriate use. I had a brother who loved to go punch punching bag. We're talking a little bit older, obviously, than kindergarten age. But whatever it is, help them find their tools and model tools. Maybe you're really frustrated and you're snapping at your kid and you're irritable and everything is just rah, 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 rah. Pause and say, you know what? I'm frustrated and I'm taking it out on you, and that's not fair. I'm going to take a break so that I can be nicer, so I can calm down, and give yourself that space so that you can go scream in a pillow. You can, go do something to calm yourself down. Holding a yoga pose for a few seconds can be really beneficial. Turning on a 10-minute kickboxing exercise video, do it together. That can be really beneficial. Again, are you a low energy or a high energy? But model that kind of decompression so that they can learn those skills. And take pride in the fact that you're your kid's safe place. No, they're not going to trust just anybody with those huge, big feelings. They trust you. They trust you because you are the one that has shown them time and time and time again that they can be their absolute worst. They can be a nightmare and you will still love them. That kind of security, that secure attachment is what grows healthy children. Is it fun all the time? Absolutely not. Is it super frustrating sometimes? Of course it is. And is it a beautiful and wonderful thing that your kid can trust you that much? It really, really is. So remind yourself, this is normal. This is actually a good sign. I can help them to develop the skills to move through these tough transitions even better. I can preempt it. So sometimes it's a perfect storm situation. Your kid's been holding it all in all day. They're overwhelmed and tired and hangry. Hunger is going to exacerbate these issues times 1,000. So pick your kid up with a snack in the car. Hey, I brought you some fruit leather. It's in the car. Jump in your seat and I'll get it unwrapped for you. Easy peasy, no arguing, no fighting. They get something they want. They do what you want, as in leave school, get in their car seat, buckle up, things like that. You can brainstorm with your kiddo. Are they somebody who really likes to process more internally? And when they don't have that option, they implode or explode, I suppose. Bring a notebook so that they can journal. For younger kids, that might just mean scribbling. For middle-aged kids, they might actually write words. A lot of times kids will draw pictures, they'll sketch things, and let them get out their frustration that way. It can be a really healthy, healing way. I teach moms how to black journal, but we can teach our kids. I mean, really, even at 6, 7, 8 years old, you have yucky feelings inside, put them on paper, get them out of your body so that they don't have to bother you anymore. We can teach them that it's okay to have those feelings and they can do something about it. Because a big part of this is that they're just scared. It's scary to feel completely overwhelmed by a feeling that you can't name, you don't understand, that's completely overtaking your body. Oh my word. I mean, my heart goes out to these kids. I had panic attacks for 14 years. And that's what that is. That's what that feels like. You're fine. And then something completely overcomes your body. You can't breathe. You think you might die. You don't know what's happening. It's scary and overwhelming. And there's no controlling it. It's too late. It's happening. And that's in the midst of that chaos with your kid, that's where they're at. That is not the time to scold them or try to talk rationally to them or try to punish them out of their huge emotions. They're in it. They're gone. Get them through it and then comfort them, connect with them, and then you can problem solve. You can reverse engineer that situation so it doesn't get so out of hand next time. Does that mean there will never be blow-ups again? Nope. You're human. Your kid's human. Last I checked, all YouTube viewers are human. Could be wrong. But if you guys expect that your kid's never going to have a meltdown again, or that them having a meltdown somehow means that you're doing something wrong, that's not fair to either one of you. Emotions are tough, and they're just learning them. They're just experiencing some of these things for the first time. I mean, I can't remember the first time I felt jealousy, but I know that the feeling of jealousy kind of sucks. So I imagine that if a 5-year-old is feeling jealous all of a sudden for the first time, that's going to hurt inside, and they're going to need some help to get through that. If I can help them name the emotion, that's amazing. That's powerful. If I can give them some sort of relation, I understand that feeling. I've been there. I've felt jealous before. I felt angry before. I felt overwhelmed before. I felt exhausted before. Whatever it is. If I can help them remember a time that they have felt that. So obviously this isn't the first time, but in future instances, you can remind them, oh, remember when this happened and you were feeling really disappointed? You felt disappointed before. This is disappointment. That's where you're at. And it sucks, and you will get through it. So let's get through it together, There's no one right way. I mean, we covered that in the Silver Bullet video. There is no one way to help a kid through huge emotions. And there's some pretty good ways. Giving them the words for their emotions, being there, literally present. Your presence alone can comfort them. You staying very calm will help them to feel like you believe in them. It's not a big deal. We all get really angry sometimes. You getting upset and angry and trying to shush them and calm them makes them panic even more, because clearly you're frazzled and upset. So this must be a really big deal that I have even more things to worry about. If mom can't even handle this, how am I supposed to handle this? That's the kind of feeling they get. So the more calm you can stay, the more you can anchor them. One of my favorite mantras is be the calm in their chaos. And I will repeat that in my head over and over and over again when my kids are going crazy, because it helps me to remember what they need from me in that moment. And wait it out with them. and then try to talk logic afterwards, after they've come back online and their brain has re-engaged with the world and they're logical again. That's when you can problem solve with them and come up with tips and solutions that might help them to better manage next time. But just know it's not personal. It feels personal when your kid seems to be angelic with everyone and then just melts with you. It feels personal. It feels like an attack. What did I ever do for you to treat me this way? I've heard it so many times. And my heart breaks for these mamas because it feels terrible. You love your kid with all your heart and soul. You want everything for them. You want to give them everything you can, and it feels like it's never enough. And the only thing I can tell you is that you're not alone. And if you can change your mindset, if you can make yourself believe in your core that this is because you have shown them so much love. They trust you. All the hard things in life, they trust you to help them through. All of the frustration and the negativity that they're dealing with and processing and trying to figure out in the world, they trust you to be their partner in that. That's the beauty behind the chaos. That's the gift that you are giving them. And it gets better and it gets easier. And you're allowed to have boundaries. Like I said, they cannot hit you. They cannot kick you. You can tell your kid, you know, when you use that tone, it makes me feel yucky. I don't like that tone. You can say, Mom, help me, instead of, Mom, I don't like that. That doesn't feel good. You can tell them those things. Again, when they're in their logical mind. It's okay to teach them and still be that soft place for them to land. You can do both. I'm here for you. If you need support, if you need somebody to just vent to because it's freaking hard to be a mom sometimes, set up a free call. I'm here. The free Facebook group, Empowering Moms to Uplift Kids, it's available too. You can always vent in there. Thousands of other moms totally get it. We're all on this journey together. You can find me on Instagram, send me a DM. I'm there for you. Whatever you need, we are in this together. It definitely takes a village, and you are not alone. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, if it helped you in any way, please share it so that you can spread that to other moms and they can feel heard and loved and understood too. Like and comment below. Tell me, does your kid melt down after school? Are you one of those moms? Or do your kids come home and just transition into the day without a problem? If your kids do melt down, what do you think that you could do to improve that? And if they don't, why do you think they don't? I'd love to hear your thoughts below. Make sure you subscribe to get more videos like this and hit the notification bell so that your phone will tell you when I upload. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great one. Bye.